Welcome, we are A Body Like Bruce, and we're continuing our series on the books that Bruce Lee read. We are going to take it from a different angle rather than reading the entire book, not really getting to the point or the meat and potatoes of it, what it's all about, why Bruce Lee read it, what part did he specifically put stress on, his interest into, and use it in his philosophy and his martial art, so forth. So we browsed through it and thought, well, hints are that he read books on Alan Watt, Lao Tzu, and so forth. So we came to this page in the book Man the Manipulator, Freedom and Awareness, this chapter rather, and we noticed here about Alan Watts. Alan Watts puts the value of non-striving in another context. He stated that he had always been fascinated by the law of reversed effort. Sometimes he called it the backwards law. When you try to stay on the surface of the water, you sink, but when you try to sink, you float. When you hold your breath, you lose it, which immediately calls to mind an ancient and most neglected saying, whosoever would save his soul shall lose it. Insecurity is the result of trying to be secure, and that contrariwise, salvation and sanity consist in the most radical recognition that we have no way of saving ourselves. The Chinese sage Lao Tzu, the master of the law of reversed effort, declared that those who justify themselves do not convince that to know truth one must get rid of knowledge, and that nothing is more powerful and creative than emptiness, from which men shrink. So that's probably where, or partly where, he got the philosophy, empty your mind, be shapeless, be formless. Apart from hitting the water, went out on a junk by himself, and he was frustrated, and he hit the water, and then he realised, be like water, and so forth. When what Watts is saying is that the more we try in some situations, the more we seem to fail, and there are some goals which can never be achieved by active striving. We find this particularly true in psychotherapy, when the more one tries to become a certain way, the more one fails. Leslie H. Farber speaks of the paradoxical nature of certain qualities of being and the impossibility of striving for such qualities as wisdom, dignity, courage, humility. The thing that characterizes each of these virtues is that one's possession of them lies outside of conscious effort. Most accomplishments and some virtues do not have this paradoxical nature. Skill or tact, or a capacity for honesty, for example, may be pursued directly. To acknowledge and enjoy possession of them does not contradict their nature. But only the fool proclaims his wisdom, only the proud man his humility, only the coward his courage. Not only do these virtues make a liar of the man who claims them, they forever evade any effort to achieve them. I may seek knowledge, I may not seek to be wise. Sharing an essential freedom from self-concern, such virtues are not accomplishments and cannot be learned. They must be deserved, but the possession is a matter of grace. Awareness. Okay, go up here a bit. Actualization is the alternative which offers humanness of believing in oneself and one's full potentials, and at the same time valuing one's limitations and loving oneself in spite of these limitations. The actualizer swings with his inner scale of balance between his polarities. In a very profound sense, the actualizer is a deeply religious person who believes that his organism is made, can be trusted to work, and that he will swing effectively back and forth between his complementary potentials in his effort to cope with the problems of living. Awareness. Possibly the most important idea this author can leave with you is that man may not be a manipulator, and equally important, need not be a hopeless victim of manipulation. With awareness, manipulation decreases and actualization increases. A basic procedure from Gestalt therapy which helps us in this regard is the concept of the continuum of awareness. This means that one can learn to focus on the ever-changing moment and simply express what he is experiencing from moment to moment in his awareness. What we focus on at the moment seems to be summarized in 3 dimensions. 1, here versus there, someplace else. 2, now versus past or future. 3, feelings versus thinking or sensing. The therapist, in helping a patient learn how to become aware, constantly directs them to finish this statement. Here and now I am aware that. The patient picks it up here and describes what he is feeling, thinking and sensing in the here and now. His thinking consists either of remembering the past or planning the future. His sensing is what he is now seeing or hearing. His feeling is the emotion he is experiencing at the time. Consider the following conversation, for example. Maybe that's where Bruce Lee got his idea as well. Don't think, feel. How do you feel? The following example taken from Therapy with Illustrate. Therapist, what are you aware of now? Patient, I'm aware of wanting to hit you. Therapist, be the you that wants to hit. Possibly instead of where Bruce Lee into the dragon raises his fist, it says, I don't hit, i.e. the fist hits all by itself. Maybe he's going somewhere along those lines. Chapter 8, Personal Control. Example. So we're not really sure if this is what he actually was looking at and incorporated into his philosophy. Examples of manipulation and actualization. Okay, this is a chapter on teenagers. We're trying to go through it to see if there's another chapter here that he may have put emphasis on. Okay, we're not really sure here. We could go through this book and not really tap into what he used, right? He absorbed and incorporated it into his philosophy, his teachings. Aha, maybe here. Oh, that's marital, not martial fighting. Okay, it's marital. Okay, I think we might end it there. If you enjoyed this rather short video and what we think that Bruce Lee may have looked at and incorporated in his philosophy, his martial arts, etc., then subscribe to us, give us a like, and then share this video with family